Good afternoon, David Atkins, target individual, backed by the grace of God. Okay, today I'm going to be telling my testimony. It's just going to be a brief about how I suffer with direct energy weapons, and along with reading part two to yesterday's thing about direct energy weapons from John Hall's book, Guinea Pigs. And I'm going to start off with a word. I've been meditating this morning. I came up with a word. It's going to be real quick. If you're not a believer and don't want to hear it, just fast forward through it. So then I'm going to start the video off with this. Then I'm going in my testimony, and then I'm going to read the rest of that out of his book that I printed off. Anyway, so here's what I came up with, believers. We live like sheep in the middle of the wolves. God allows us to go through so many pains and so much suffering because he wants us to face those wolves. You are strong enough to face them. We are strong enough to face them. We are powerful enough to overcome them. We are children of God. We don't need to let the pain and suffering and struggle break us down. We are stronger than we ever imagined. God never left us, and he's always there for us. Okay, so 2015, Springfield, Missouri. I was already getting gang stalked heavily, and here's how it goes. I was checking into motels because I needed a place to stay for the night. So anyway, I would go check in these hotels and be halfway checked in, and they would get a call. And they put me on hold, and then they come back with Mr. Atkins, the room, we figured out it's not clean yet, and there's something damaged in it. Or, Mr. Atkins, we're sorry, we're full for the night. Or that bed's not available no more. After they get phone calls, it's like 6 different motels. I was on wherever I was at in Springfield, Missouri. I know it was around the Greyhound bus station, but anyway, it was around that area. So anyway, that's when I started. The last hotel I went into, and I just gave it up because I got turned down. I started hearing the V2K, and after the V2K hit me, I'm walking down the road, and you can think I'm crazy or whatever. I'm not crazy, but anyway. I'm walking down the road, my brain starts heating up, and my vision gets blurry, and I feel like my brain's scrambling, like I'm a vegetable, walking around vegetable. And I notice when I step on the grass, it intensifies. The burning sensation, my vision gets even more. But when I step on the sidewalk, it lessens. But when I would step on the asphalt, and where passing cars were going by, it would stop. So what they were trying to do was, and I didn't know nothing about microwave weapons, but now I know what it was, because now I suffer with all this on a daily. But what they were trying to do was get me, because it was unbearable. They were hitting me so hard, because they can hit you with different levels, but they were heating me up inside my brain and everything, and shot, and I was feeling electrical pulses. Like I said, my brain was scrambling. I couldn't think straight. But I know when I stepped on that asphalt and cars in traffic, it stopped. So I was willing to walk almost in traffic because the roads are narrow to get and it would stop. But what was happening was in the grass, they would hit me hard and turn it up. When I hit the sidewalk, it would lessen. And when I stepped on the asphalt and walking where I could get hit because there was a busy road, they turned it off automatically to make me think, hey, whatever's happening, I'm safer right here. They were trying to get me to walk out in traffic. Okay. And every night about 3 a.m., well, it's been late. It was going on at 3 a.m. every morning, but now about 1 or 2 in the middle of the night, I'll start getting shocked real hard. My brain will heat up. My vision will get blurred. But it's not as hard as it was in 2015. I'm still able to function and stuff, but it's really painful, really annoying, and the electrical pulses are just torture. It's like shocks to my brain. And then, like I said, my brain heats up at the same time. I feel like I got a fever. It's worse than a fever. That's no way to describe it, because it's a burning sensation inside my brain. It feels like my brain's like a frying egg. And the thing about these weapons is, they can cut them off and leave no damage, no proof they were even in there. So anyway, that's a little bit of my stuff. And one day I really want to do a testimony, but I do have a testimony in the link in my playlist. But let me get to the meat of the subject. I'm going to start out talking about lasers. This is John Hall's guinea pig, and this chapter is called Direct Energy Weapons. Lasers have been the most troublesome of directed energy weapons due to energy loss and spread problems. However, it has been done. High energy laser systems have been produced for missile defense systems mounted on ships, planes, and ground installations. In 2010, the Los Angeles County Prison System announced that they would be putting into use a laser system to control unruly prisoners. The ceiling-mounted device would allow deputies to target difficult prisoners with a joystick controller to inflict a painful burn in order to control them. In reality, a laser is only used in this system for target acquisition and is not the modularity causing the burning sensation. The system, called the Assault Intervention Device, is similar to other systems called the Active Denial System and Silent Guardian Protection System. All are manufactured by the Raytheon. I did a video about that, Raytheon Ravenclaw, and all use millimeter wave technology to inflict a painful stimulus that causes the target to move out of the depth of the path of the beam. And now that I read that again, maybe that's what they were doing, lasering me on the road, because they were making me move. And when I was out of the path of the beam, I was basically walking in front of cars. So this is making sense to me now that I've read it again. All are manufactured by and use millimeter wave technology to inflict a painful stimulus, a stimulus that causes the target to move out of the path of the beam. Millimeter waves move at the speed of light and penetrate skin at the depth of 1/64 of an inch, causing thermal pain and dermal nerve endings. The range, depending on the system used, may be 250 meters, 500 meters. Microwave and millimeter wave technology as it relates to the weaponry has been extensively researched. Much of what appears to be either criminal use of this technology or non-consensual experimentation with it seems to be compromised of millimeter wave or microwave modalities. Microwave and millimeter waves cause damage by inducing heat. Oxygen and water will both absorb microwave energy and radiate heat while leaving a ceramic container cool to the touch. Everyone has noted this fact while heating water for coffee or tea in a microwave oven. Microwave photon energies are small and as a result will pass through most insulating materials. However, their frequency is quite low, less than 100 gigahertz. Therefore, most metals reflect them. Indeed, DoD protects their electronic equipment by encasing them in metal boxes. For example, the control centers for the unmanned Predator drones are encased in a metallic cargo containers for protection from this type of directed energy attack. In theory, a suit of aluminum foil would shield from millimeter and microwave weapon attacks. However, folding and cornering of the most thin, malleable metal shield results in micro tears, where the target would still be vulnerable to attack. One DoD official stated that if you're going to make a metal suit to protect from microwaves, you'd be better off making it out of steel so you would be bulletproof as well. An interesting observation of microwaves is that they will skip across ocean surfaces, extending their range well beyond that intended when beamed at the Earth from space. While salt water is a good conductor for electrical current, it reflects microwaves in a manner similar to metallic surfaces. Furthermore, due to their large wavelength, microwave propagation does not rely on adaptive optics for beam correction as lasers do for long-range applications. This is fortunate since, like otherwise, microwaves would not have found so many applications in communications where accurate phase and amplitude information is required for a coherent signal to be received. Before their use against biologic targets, microwaves were deployed for use against electronic targets. Electronic equipment is particularly vulnerable to microwave attack. The thin strips of wires, semiconductors, circuitry etched onto a circuit board can be easily heated to the point of destruction. Circuit boards are designed with some overheating in mind. Heat sinks are incorporated into the board material that allow for normal dissipation of heat when normal currents are applied. On a printed circuit board, the wiring may be less than a micrometer in thickness and width. A current of less than a milliamp may be sufficient to melt conducting paths on the circuit board. As technology tends towards smaller and more compact circuits, designs have less space available to incorporate heat sinks or voltage escape pathways. Thus, our trend toward miniaturization of electronics components is making them significantly more vulnerable to direct energy attack. Electronic equipment is attacked in two ways, through in-band and out-of-band attacks. In-band damage is accomplished through directing a frequency of energy at the chosen target with its normal operating band. This type of attack enters through antennas or openings in the targeted device. The device itself may amplify the incoming signal, causing further destruction. For this reason, military radar equipment is designed to frequency hop, so intentionally harmful frequencies directed at the equipment cannot be maliciously received. An out-of-band attack involves an attack on a target with energy, not with its operating frequency. The damage is effected by applying raw power to the target in order to override its circuitry. A good example of this is a lightning strike, in which non-surge protected devices in the home are destroyed when the home is hit with lightning. To protect from this type of damage, the military houses sensitive equipment in microwave reflective metallic containers. However, microwaves will still enter through windows or gaps in the protective surface. Moreover, when microwaves enter through small apertures, they are strongly diffracted and can eradicate any area thought to be adequately protected. Depending on the magnitude of the offending frequency, targets may be destroyed, rendered dysfunctional, or controlled. Particle beams are composed of atomic and subatomic particles and propagate at the near speed of light. Their interactions with each other and a target must be understood on the basis of atomic physics, nuclear physics, and relativity. There are two types of known particle beams, charged and neutral. A charged particle beam is made up of particles such as electrons or protons, while a neutral particle beam is composed of atomic hydrogen and neutrinos. The electrical field of particle beams interacts with existing magnetic fields and vice versa. This interaction, described by Maxwell's equation of electromagnetic theory, is responsible for the propagation of electric and magnetic fields coupled together as electromagnetic radiation. Charged particles tend to have a repulsive effect on each other and thus cause beam divergence, while the electrical current they produce causes a beam contraction. This repulsive force dominates the electrical attractive force, which makes neutral particle beams more useful in a vacuum. Atmospheric conditions minimize the repulsive forces of a charged particle beam. As a particle beam propagates through the atmosphere, collisions with molecules of oxygen, nitrogen, and water vapor occur. A neutral beam becomes ionized, losing electrons that make it neural and increasing divergence. However, a charged beam that propagates through the atmosphere undergoes charge neuralization, which eliminates beam expansion through electrostatic repulsion. As the ionized particles in a charged beam enter the atmosphere, their surrounding air becomes ionized, going from neutral gas to ionized plasma. These charged electrons and nuclei become ionized. In the atmosphere, plasma are free to carry electrical current. Therefore, the utility of particle beams as weapons fall into two categories: neutral beams for use in space and charged beams for use within the atmosphere. Particle beams release X-rays upon interaction with a target, which is part of their inherent danger. The latest form of direct energy weapons can be extensively researched is scalar energy. To date, many physicists doubt the existence of scalar waves. However, every industrialized nation is actively researching them. Scalar waves do not obey Maxwell's equation which governs most electromagnetic waves, and they're hard to describe as propagating waveform. Some researchers describe them as static points of light, which are activated by a transfer of energy, while others describe them as traveling faster than the speed of light. Field theory dictates that energy decreases from the point of transmission of most types of waves up to its point of reception by a receiver. Thus, received power is generally lower than the original transmitted power. This is not true for scalar waves. There's no attention of power during the transmission of scalar waves. Therefore, scalar waves provide for the wireless transfer of electrical energy. Many physicists have suggested this would only be possible in the vacuum of space. However, researcher Konstantin Miel has demonstrated the effects of scalar waves in the atmosphere. His research has shown that scalar waves propagate at 1.5 times the speed of light, transfer energy into a receiver, and are not attenuated by an anechoic chamber. Scalar wave technology has a profound impact on possible non-consensual experimentation with this type of directed energy. Many people voicing complaints of directed energy exposure have tried shielding themselves with anechoic chambers to no avail, and it's ANECHOIC chambers. So I don't know what that is, but I'm going to research it. But there's some kind of shielding. Furthermore, investigators have reported using spectrum analyzers to scan alleged victims' homes for extraneous radio frequencies, only to find untraceable waveforms and energy level increases. These findings suggest that some of the current experimentation may be scalar-based or at least maybe using scalar waves to modulate other waveforms, though most forms are known of known shielding materials. No, through most forms, of shielding materials. In a correspondence with Constantine Meal, and it was suggested that victims find no relief from the anionic chambers, and should be suspicious of possible use of scalar technology. In conclusion, I'm passing that because I was talking about chapters in the book. And it is important that the public become aware of this technology due to its increased use on private sector. During the writing of this book, which I think was 2014, if I'm not mistaken, several alarming deployments of direct energy technology on public occurred. Several cities saw the use of long-range acoustic devices, or LRADs, by local law enforcement agencies to institute crowd control. The LRAD emits a disorienting beam of sound at targets that causes them to clear out of a desired perimeter. And like I said, this is making sense now, because now that I told that story, maybe that's what they were doing to me when I started getting hit. It was used at the summit in British Columbia, on a crowd in San Diego, as well as on a crowd in San Diego, California. A millimeter wave weapon produced by Raytheon is currently being tested in a Los Angeles prison. Millimeter waves, which cause a burning sensation in the skin, are being remotely controlled by prison guards to alter the behavior of uncooperative prisoners. Identical to the Army's active denial system, the burning sensation caused by millimeter waves induces the target to move out of the direction of the beam. That's exactly what they were doing to me. And I almost ran in front of a car. And I'll have to end that story another day, because it's getting to be long for my videos. But yeah, that's exactly what they were doing to me. The burning sensation ceases once the target moves out of the beam's direction. If this technology seems futuristic to you, then the future has arrived with the potential to worsen exponentially. I went through that in 2015, folks. I go through it every night in here. However, they got different kinds. Whatever they're hitting me with now has got the electrical pulses, and like I described earlier. But what I'm saying is, there are different kinds. They can hit you with lasers that are precise, that'll actually burn your skin and cause damage. They have microwave weapons that will hit you and make you burn, and when they move out the way, like he said, there's no harm done. It'll make you feel fried, like you lost it. And oh yeah, after I got hit, that when they hit me real hard that time in 2015, and they hit me hard that day, and my vision got blurry, and I had to have prescription glasses. Now I don't have glasses no more. So it lasted about a month, of getting hit real hard, because I was going through that daily, but different kinds. I only got hit with that one I'm talking about, the scalar wave, a few times, but what they hit me with now is different than that, because no matter where I go, I feel it. So anyway, they get in and out. They can hit you and leave no evidence, or they can hit you and leave evidence. Burns. I've seen burns on people. I've seen people lose their eyesight from getting hit with lasers so hard and have to have surgery, and the doctors say, what is you involved in to get this kind of damage to your eye? Yeah. So I also know people, because this radiation stuff causes cancer, and it causes thyroid problems. I suffer with thyroid problem. I have a couple friends that suffer from thyroid problems. So yeah, your thyroid absorbs radiation. So if you're going through direct energy weapon attacks, and you think you've been getting heated up and burnt, man, have your thyroid checked. The thyroid absorbs all your radiation in your body. So it collects the radiation. So more than likely, a lot of us targets have thyroid problems, and I have some pretty bad thyroid problems that I can't even take my medicine because it makes me sick. It makes me sick as a dog. But anyway, God bless y'all. I hope y'all having a good week, and I hope y'all have a good rest of the weekend. I will be doing another video tomorrow, and this week I'm getting on the thought amplifier and mind interface program. We got some good stuff coming on. Also, I might start coming with some other stuff that's not about targeting, but that's got to do with like depopulation, stuff like that, and throwing that in there too. Because I've read some really good stuff, and like I said, I put a lot of research in this. This ain't something I just, let me do this. No. I research. But anyway, God bless y'all. Keep me in your prayers. I'll keep you in mind. Y'all have a good weekend.